Looking at our world from a theological perspective. This is the Theology Central Podcast, making theology central.
Welcome, everyone. It is Sunday, October the 31st, 2021. It is currently 5:17 p.m. Central Time, and I'm coming to you live from the empty sanctuary of Victory Baptist Church, located right here in Ovalo, Texas. And I would like to welcome you to another week of Bible study. Yes, Bible study exercise this week is on Genesis chapter 12. You know what to do. If you're new, you don't know what to do. So let me first say, if you're brand new, welcome to a brand new week of Bible study. We've already introduced this week's Bible study, yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I don't even remember which day. We already kind of did an introduction to this week's Bible study. I already gave you some assignments, so go back and listen to part 1 so you'll be fully caught up. But let me explain. There is curriculum available for the Bible study exercise. Go to theologycentral.net, go to the blog section. You may have to scroll down past a few entries. Look for the entry for Daily Discipleship Guide. Follow that link. It will take you to ministrygrid.com. Sign up. You'll have access to the curriculum. And what you're going to be looking for, in fact, let me go back on the curriculum page here. You're going to be looking for Unit 2, Session 1. Unit 2, Session 1, and the title of it is The Basis for Confidence. It's a study of Genesis chapter 12, 1 through 8. Definitely go ahead and get access to that. For all of you who have access to it, make sure you're already looking at it, download it, whatever you need to do, have it saved, and make sure you're looking at it this week. Now, when I originally decided to do this week's Bible study, one of the things we're trying to do is catch up with the curriculum because we've been so far behind. We still may do a few things left in 1 John to try to kind of wrap that up. I think it's been a very interesting study of 1 John, and I think we approached spending all of our time focusing on it being a polemic against Gnosticism, I think was very beneficial. But one of the things I wanted to do with this week's Bible study is to try to get us caught up in the curriculum as much as possible. So we're gonna try to do that. We may be skipping some to try to get caught up with this, the actual this week's study. We're still a little bit behind. This one is actually for October the 17th. So we're a little closer, but we'll try to catch up. But I wanted to spend some time here. It's Genesis chapter 12. It's a very familiar passage of Scripture. And I have to say, my original idea was, hey, here's what the curriculum is doing. Let's ignore the curriculum. Let's just ignore it. And let's do our own study of Genesis chapter 12. That's the direction I was going to go. And then when I kind of saw what they were doing with the curriculum, I kind of stopped myself in the middle. So I probably sound a little schizophrenic in part 1. Oh, he's going to lead us away from the curriculum. And then I kind of circled back and go, nope, let's just stay with the curriculum because I want to follow their lead and just see where we end up, because they look at Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 8, and instead of really actually dealing with maybe what's going on and some of the theological issues, they want to look at Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 8, and somehow pull from it or impose on it. We talked about that in part 1, the idea of confidence. But when I started thinking about it, okay, I don't know if this is a real good text to use for this subject, but I think maybe we can use this week in a sense to kind of do a topical study, maybe a word study on the idea of confidence. They're using Genesis 12. We're going to kind of say, okay, you're going to use Genesis 12. We may see where this concept shows up there, but we're just going to kind of look at it more from a broader thing, what it means about confidence. What does that word mean? And that's what we're going to do. But I do want you to spend the week reading Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 8. I gave you a number of things to do. The goal in this Bible study exercise is I'm going to start doing some of the homework for you. And hopefully that will either supplement the work you've already done, or maybe it will get you motivated to actually start the homework, or maybe you'll just listen to me do all of your homework for you. Everyone approaches this a little differently. Some people are not really that worried about actually doing the homework. I hope you do, though, because it's designed to help you. But here we go. Let's first of all just go to Genesis chapter 12 and read Genesis 12, 1 through 8. All right. Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 8. Here we go. And I will begin reading in verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now, obviously, there's so many theological implications from this whole beginning, this, in a sense, covenant with Abraham and what he's going to do for Abraham and how we understand Israel. There's so much that we could go into, but the curriculum is not focused on all of that. They're just focused on this idea of confidence. Why? Well, let's continue reading, and then we'll see if we can put this all together and how far we can advance our study today. Here we go. So let me read that again. Genesis 12, 1 through 3. You say, why are you going to read it again? Because remember, whatever the text is, I want you to read it and read it and read it and read it. Because if you live with the text, even if you don't get anything else out of the study, you've spent an entire week reading a text over and over and over. You got God's word for that week of study. And that is, worth more than any amount of money that you ever will own. Okay. So here we go. Genesis chapter 12, starting in verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and I will make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, curse them that curseth thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Verse 4, so Abram departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go unto the land of Canaan, and to the land of Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Sychem, Sychem, I think Sychem. That's the right way to say it. Sychem is the right way to say it. I always want to put a K sound there, but I think it is Sychem. It's not Sychem. For some reason, I want to put a K there. Sychem, unto the plain of Morah, and the Canaanite was in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on his west, and Hai on the east. And there he builded an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. There we have it. Now, the curriculum. I'm just going to show you what the curriculum does. We've already done this, and then we will advance this. All right, here we go. I'm going to go to the curriculum. Again, Unit 2, Session 1. For those who have access, you can go ahead and open it up. It's called The Basis for Confidence. That tells you immediately what they want to, I'm going to say in some ways what they're going to impose on the text. And we're going to, in a sense, we're going to go along with this. There's so much there about, there's so much we could do there, but okay. Well, we may do some of that before the week is over. All right, here we go. Immediately when you open it up, it says introduction. Now, what's interesting, it says introduction, and you may think I overanalyze everything, but if I see a photograph on anything, I start analyzing the photograph, right? Why is the photograph there? And under the introduction, the photograph they have, it's behind the words. You have the word introduction written right there at the top, and then there's a photograph right underneath it. And it says this, or it doesn't say anything. I'll describe the photograph. It's a traffic light it's a crosswalk light. That's the best way to put it. It's a crosswalk light. And it has obviously red showing a person, red, which would be stop. It's not lit up. And then there's a person walking. Or so you have a person in red that would be, if it was lit up, it would be red, and the person would just be standing there, which means stop walking. And then the green is someone walking, and the green light is lit up. Now, obviously, there's a reason they chose that photograph, because Genesis chapter 12 is God not telling Abraham or Abram to stop, but to start walking, all right? For Genesis chapter 12, verse 1, now the Lord said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country. Start walking. Go, get thee out of thy country. So the green light is on. God is telling him to walk. So So you can see how they're trying to relate that to the text. This is a text of God telling Abram to get going, to go ahead, cross over, move, walk. All right, fine. Then immediately underneath that, it says this, walking in confidence. So it's the idea, there's a green light of someone walking. Abram is going to walk, and he is to walk in confidence. Therefore, they introduce the topic for the week. It's really confidence. It's really not Genesis 12, 1 through 8. So to be fair, I don't know if this is so much a study of Genesis 12, 1 through 8 as much as it is a study on the topic of confidence. I'm going to approach it as a study on the subject of confidence. What role should confidence play in your Christian life? What is confidence? What does it mean to have confidence? How do we develop confidence? Is confidence the same thing as trusting in the Lord? Is confidence the same thing as having faith in the Lord? Or is it our faith in the Lord that should lead to confidence? How do we understand these? I have lots of questions, and I've already given you a lot of these to work on for your assignments. But here's what they have to say. When fear begins to creep into our lives, or a conflict and a relationship begins to grow, it can be easy for confidence to take a back seat. So let's read this again. When fear begins to creep into our lives, or a conflict and a relationship begins to grow, it can be easy for confidence to take a back seat. When we walk through seasons of uncertainty, times of testing, or flat out failure, it can be true that maintaining a high level of confidence can be very difficult. How would you rate your confidence level? Where do you secure your confidence? Could you draw from a better source? How do you strengthen your confidence to prepare for the unforeseen circumstances that life always brings? Be warned, this study is about to get up in your business. This is the way they describe it. That's them trying to be, I guess, cool. Hey, this study is about to get up in your business. Now, they may not be trying to be cool. It may be the way the person who writes the study actually talks. Then it's being very true to themselves. So it's probably not fair to say that they're trying to be cool, because they could just be being very true to themselves. As we dive into Abraham's personal life, so this study is going to get up in your business and my business as we dive into Abraham's personal life. Using his life as a lens, we will evaluate the level of our own confidence. As we explore Abraham's victories and losses, the goal is to allow his example to strengthen and to stretch and strengthen our confidence in God. So if you're ready to increase your confidence level, let's jump in. Then they have the basis for confidence, and then this is their point. Confidence comes from trusting God. Now, that's where I really want us to think about. They seem to separate it. Confidence comes from trusting God, but is confidence and trusting the same thing? Like, do they draw a distinction between these two that should be there or shouldn't be there? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start, and instead of going to Genesis 12 right now, Genesis 12 is what they say the text is, and somehow they want to connect confidence to Genesis 12. Before we do that, let's just think of the word confidence, and let's do a little bit of study here and see what we can find out. All right, are you ready? Let's start off with an English definition. All right, start off with an English definition. If you type in confidence in Google, here's the first thing you show up. Confidence. The feeling or belief that one can rely on someone or something. Firm trust. Now, interesting, the definition of confidence seems to connect confidence with the idea of trust. Confidence is, I know I can have confidence in this thing or in this person. I can trust this thing or this person. It seems to be that they're the same thing. They go on to say, the state of feeling certain about the truth of something. That if you have confidence, you can feel certain about the truth of something. A feeling of self-assurance arising from one's own appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. So confidence can be you have confidence or trust in someone or something, or it's confidence in yourself. So if we're going to talk about confidence, let's think about it. We have to ask this question. How much confidence can you have in yourself? And what should be the source of our confidence as a Christian? Now, you may already know the answers, but these are things we're going to have to think about this week. I'm still perplexed a little bit that if I go back to the curriculum, their point is that confidence comes from trusting God. And I just wouldn't confidence comes from God, because if I have confidence in God, or should the point be, the source of confidence for the believer is God. But to say confidence comes from trusting God seems to mean that you trust God and then confidence arises from it. But isn't confidence and trust the same thing? Why are they? It appears to me they're drawing a distinction. If you don't think they're drawing a distinction, you can let me know. All right. Now, let's go back to some definitions here. So those are those definitions. Let's see, what do we have here? Let's go to Merriam-Webster. They offer this. Number one, a feeling or belief that you can do something well or succeed at something. All right, that's confidence in self. All right, number two, a feeling or belief that someone or something is good or has the ability to succeed at something. All right, that is confidence in someone or something else. Now, interesting, the example sentences they have for this. The candidate has won, lost the confidence equals trust of voters. Now, they immediately connect confidence with trust. Number three, the feeling of being certain that something will happen or that something is true. Right? And if I look down here, they go on a full definition of confidence, a feeling or consciousness of one's power or reliance in one's circumstance. That's that whole confidence in self. The quality or state of being certain, a relation of trust or intimacy, reliance on another's discretion. So it goes with the same idea. Now, if we look at, let's see here, I'm looking to see if there's anything else here that would be helpful, because I see confidence and synonyms, assurance, self-assuredness, self-confidence, self-esteem, or self-trust. Now that's focusing on confidence as being trusting in myself. But if it's self-trust, or if I place my confidence in me, it's self-trust. If I put my confidence in someone else, I'm trusting in them or trusting in something. So trust and confidence to me seems the same concept. So again, the curriculum says confidence, and I'm going to go back to the curriculum, that confidence comes from trusting God. Confidence comes from trusting God. I am going to argue that confidence and trust is the same thing. You can let me know this week what you think. You can tell me, no, I think they're different. And you can tell me how you think they are different. All right. I just think that the right way to say this is that as Christians, God is the source, should be the source of our confidence and our trust. He should be the source. Well, God is the object of our confidence, the source of our confidence. He's the source of our trust and the object of our trust. I'm just still trying to figure out why they are separating them. So let's do this to add to our discussion this week. Let's do this. I'm going to pull up the Blue Letter Bible app, and I'm just going to type in the word confidence. I'm going to type in the word confidence. The word confidence is used 38 times in the King James. Confidence is used 38 times in the King James. Now, you can go through all 38 because I got to give you something to do. Remember, the Bible study exercise is not designed for me to do all of the teaching. You can look up all 38. You can see exactly what exactly does the Hebrew mean. We'll look up at least, we'll see how many different Hebrew words you use. We'll do a little bit here, but I want you to look up all 38 and see what you come up with. But I'm just going to skip down here, and I'm going to go to Psalm 118, verse 8. Psalm 118, verse 8. So here's what we're trying to do. Confidence means It can rely to self-confidence, or it can mean trusting in someone or something that they are reliable, trustworthy, they can be done. And a word that goes very much with it is the idea of trust. All right, so it's a confidence, it's a trust, it's an assurance in someone or something. That's really what confidence is. I think that's the basic definition of it. But let's see how the Bible uses the word confidence. And the first one we come up with, I'm going to turn here in my Bible, is Psalm 118. Now, it's not the first one listed, but the first one I'm going to look at. Psalm 118, because this one just jumped out to me. Psalm 118, verse 8. Psalm 118, verse 8, we read this. Psalm 118, verse 8, we read this. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. So here, it's using the concept, hey, trust in the Lord, almost like have confidence in the Lord, don't have confidence in man. Put your trust in the Lord, do not put your confidence in man. So if we're going to talk about confidence this week, we have to realize that the one place we should not put confidence is we should not put confidence in man. Now, what does that mean? How far do you take that? Let me read it again. Psalm 118, verse 8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and just lay this out for you right now. One of the things I want you to do this week, I'm going to give you some additional exercises here, is I want you just to think about what is the right scriptural balance and understanding this concept. Don't put your confidence in man, trust in the Lord. Now, I think that from just a very theological perspective, this begins with the idea that we have to realize all people, no matter how much we love them, no matter how wonderful we think they are, no matter how great we think they are sinners by nature. They have a sinful nature, even if they are saved. So we don't put a full trusting confidence in them because we know of what they are. We know that they have feet of clay. We know they're going to let us down. We know that they're going to hurt us. Just that's the same reason we should not place confidence in us. We have to trust in God. So do not put your confidence in man. Now, look at the next verse. Psalm 118:8. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Verse 9. It is better to trust in the Lord than to put the confidence in princes. So do not put your trust in men and do not put your trust in, you could say human authority. Do not put your trust in men. Do not put your trust in human authority, because human authority is made up of sinful people, which are flawed. Don't put your confidence there. Do not put your confidence in men or in princes. That's just interesting. I want you to really write down Psalm 1, and if I said 119, I apologize. Psalm 118, verses 8 and 9. For some reason, when I'm holding up my Bible, I just keep seeing Psalm 119 since it's right next to it. Psalm 118, verses 8 and 9. Psalm 118, verse 8 and 9. I do apologize if I gave the wrong reference. I always hate that when I go back and listen and realize that I messed up. Psalm 118, verses 8 and 9. Really write these down, because if we're going to talk about confidence, don't put your confidence in people. Now, let me ask you a question. Now, since the curriculum wants us to attach the concept of confidence with Genesis 12, 1 through 8, why? Now, we could ask ourselves this question. I'm not saying that this is a lot of speculation here. Abram does something in Genesis 12 that some people condemn, some people don't condemn. Let's just look at it, all right? Genesis chapter 12. Let's go back here. I know we didn't make it very far. Well, we're going to try to at least get a couple of more verses in here. Genesis chapter 12. Let's start in verse 1. Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country, from thy kindred, from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make thee a great nation, bless thee, and we have all the promises. Verse 4. So Abraham departed. Stop right there. Abram departed as the Lord had spoken. Now, we could classify that as obedience. Does this demonstrate a confidence in God? But we haven't really got to a verses about confidence in God yet. We've got verses telling us not to place our confidence in man or in princes and leadership or earthly authority. But look what happens here. So he departs. Now remember, he's supposed to get away from the following thing. He's supposed to leave his kindred and from his father's house unto a land that I will show thee. Verse 4, Genesis 12:4. Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him. Lot went with him. Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. Now, does that demonstrate that he was just concerned about Lot, and he was bringing Lot because of a concern for him and to care for him and to look after him? Or does it demonstrate that he didn't know where they were going and he wanted to ensure that he had people, look, he doesn't just bring Lot. Look at it again. He gathered and the souls they had gotten in Haran. So he took Lot, his brother's son, Sarai, and their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran, and he went forth to go into the land of Canaan. He brings a lot of stuff with him into Canaan, a lot of stuff, substance and people. Was he demonstrating some confidence, placing some confidence, some trust in these people, in these things to help him go through the dangerous travel? I'm not saying he was. Again, I don't want to speculate, but I think in Psalm 118, don't trust in men, or don't put your confidence in men, and don't put your confidence in princes. Now, what Abraham did, was it right or was it wrong? There's lots of speculation here. We'll get back into that more as we go on, all right? So there's Psalm 118. Again, if I said Psalm 119, I apologize. Psalm 118, verse 8 and verse 9. Right? Do not put your confidence in man. Do not put confidence in princes. And I would put, you may want to write this down on your paper if you're taking notes. Don't put your confidence in man. And I would just put in parentheses, including yourself. Right? We'll see if we can justify that, placing that in parentheses there. Right? Proverbs 3:26 is the next one. For the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Now this is Proverbs 3:26. Proverbs 3:26. Let's go to Proverbs 3:26. Proverbs 3:26. All right. I'm going to go back to verse 25, see if we have any context here. Proverbs 3:25. Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh, for the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. So the Lord is your confidence. Do not put your confidence in men. Do not put your confidence in princes. Put your confidence in the Lord. The Lord should be your confidence. Proverbs 3:26. For the Lord shall be thy confidence. Now, you know what we need to do here. Let's go to Proverbs 3:26. I'm going to click on it, interlinear. We're going to go to the word thy confidence. And it is, I'm going to take, again, I got to take the iPad out of the case. Here we go. The Hebrew word for confidence, let's see here, is, that's interesting. Wow. Let's see. This word means, this is weird. It's only translated confidence this one time here. This is obviously not the typical word for confidence. Let me go back and make sure I clicked on the right one. All right. For the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. That's the word, the confidence. Okay, I'm just going to play it for you. This is interesting. All right, here we go.
Strong's H, 3689. Kesel.
Now, kesel is used 13 times. It's translated, this is interesting, flank 6 times, hope 3 times, folly 2 times, loins 1 time, confidence 1 time. It means fatness. All right. What? Okay. By implication, literally the loin as the seat of the leaf fat, or also figuratively silliness, or in a good sense, trust, confidence, flank, folly, hope, loin. So the outline of biblical usage can be stupidity and folly, but it can mean confidence and hope. But even note here, we still have trust showing up. So that doesn't help us much. It doesn't offer a lot of the lexicon says it can refer to the internal muscles of the loins near the kidneys to which the fat adheres. All right, now so the fat adheres to something. It's like the fat holding on to something. All right, maybe that's kind of the idea. Yeah, and wow, that's just an interesting. Yeah, that's not a lot of help there. That's not a lot of help. Let's go back. I'm going to type in confidence. Okay. Proverbs 3:26, for the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. So the Lord is our confidence. That we can put that. So 3 things we've gotten down so far. Don't place your confidence in men or in princes. The Lord should be your confidence. Your confidence should be God. What do I have confidence in? God. God is my confidence. He is it. Nothing else, not men, and I think that includes ourselves, or even earthly authority. Let's go to the next one. Proverbs 14:26. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. This is Proverbs 14:26. Let's click on Proverbs 14:26. Let's see. I'm going to go Bible view. All right. I'm going to click on verse 26 in the interlinear. What word is used for confidence here? A completely different Hebrew word. All right. This is the Hebrew word here.
Strong's H, 4009. Mivtach.
I would say mibtach. It almost sounds like they pronounce it mivtach, but mibtach. That's how I'm going to say it, all right? Mibtach. It's used 15 times. It's translated confidence 9 times. It means trust. Once again, trust. See how trust and confidence to me are the same thing. Trust, confidence, refuge, act of confiding, object of confidence, state of confiding, security. Mibtach means refuge, security, assurance, confidence, hope, sure, and guess what? The word trust. All right, so the word trust shows up again. I don't know how you can separate it. All right, let's see, confidence. I'm going to go back to this. All right, confidence, and there we have Proverbs 14:26. And the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. So let's try to put this together. Here's what we have. Genesis 12 is the text for this week. The curriculum says, hey, when you read Genesis 12, it's about confidence. All right, great. We see God telling Abram, go, get thee out of your father's land, leave your kindred, leave everything behind, and go into a land that I will show you. He obeys. So in some sense, you can say that shows trust and confidence. I think we can say amen to that. However, he takes Lot, the souls he got in Haran, he takes all of this stuff with him. Does that demonstrate some placing confidence in that? When we start trying to figure out what confidence is, it seems to be an assurance, a trust in someone or something. You can't have self-confidence, but it seems to be confidence, assurance in something. trust in someone or something, that they will do what they say, that you can trust them. We immediately started going through some scriptures, and we found in Psalm 118, verse 8 and 9, that we are not to put our confidence in man, and we're not to put our confidence in princes. So in man or in authority, we do not put our confidence in man or earthly authority. No confidence in that. Our confidence is in God. All right. Then we looked at Proverbs 3:26. For the Lord shall be your confidence. God shall be your confidence. Proverbs 14:26. In the fear of the Lord is strong confidence. Now, we could bring in the fear of the Lord here, that to fear God, that fearing God is critical to have strong confidence in the Lord, but still it's strong confidence in God. All right. Next, Proverbs 21:22. A wise man scaleth the city of the mighty and casteth down the strength of the confidence thereof. All right. Proverbs 25:19. Confidence is an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joints. Oh, confident in an unfaithful man in time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. Confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. That's an interesting verse. That's Proverbs 25:19. I'm going to look up Proverbs 25:19 really quick. I'm going to see how that's translated everywhere. That one actually makes me laugh a little bit. Proverbs 25:19. Proverbs 25:19. I'm going to go to Bible Hub and see how this is. Okay, here's how it's translated in a number of translations. Proverbs 25:19. Like a broken tooth or a lame foot is reliance on the unfaithful in a time of trouble. In other words, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble, it's like basically having a broken tooth, useless, or a lame foot, useless. In other words, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is useless. A New Living Translation, putting confidence in an unreliable person in times of trouble is like chewing with a broken tooth or walking on a lame foot. The ESV, trusting in a treacherous man in a time of trouble is like a bad tooth or a foot that slips. Bottom line is, this is the same idea. Don't place your confidence in men. Specifically here, place no confidence in an unfaithful person. All right, an unfaithful person or an unreliable person. Do not put your trust in an unreliable person. In a roundabout way, no one is completely reliable because we are all sinners. So confidence, let's go through this again. The idea of assurance in someone or something. You're not to place your confidence, your assurance, your trust in man, princes. You're not to do that. However, you are to place your trust. I'm going to go back to, let's see here. I'm going to go back to the Blue Letter Bible app. You are, I've got to look it up again. As soon as you go away from it, it all goes away. I'm going to type in confidence here, right? All right, here we go. Confidence. What happened? I'm going to have to close the app really quick. It's all going crazy. Here we go. Confidence. Here we go. Pull it all back up. There we go. Confidence. Now, Psalm 118:8 is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in man. Don't put your confidence in man. Psalm 118:9, it is better to trust in the Lord than to put confidence in princes. Proverbs 3:26, for the Lord shall be thy confidence and shall keep thy foot from being taken. Proverbs 14:26, and the fear of the Lord is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge. And then Proverbs 25:19, confidence in an unfaithful man in a time of trouble is like a broken tooth and a foot out of joint. So here's what I want you to do this week. All right. I want you to continue to look up the word confidence, how it's used. Now, you know what we're going to have to do. To me, confidence and trust, they're linked together. So we're going to have to look up trust as well. We're going to have to. So you can go ahead and just put that on your list of assignments this week. Look up the word trust, right? Because there's just no way to get around it. I know the curriculum says confidence comes from trusting in the Lord, but confidence and trust is the same thing. To trust in the Lord is to have confidence in the Lord. To have confidence in the Lord is to trust in the Lord. So when I trust or place my confidence, I mean, they're trying to say if I trust in God, then confidence is the thing that comes from it. But confidence is trusting in the Lord. So I don't know why the curriculum is separating them. If you can explain it to me, great. I don't see it. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about trusting and having confidence in God this week. No, here's what I want you to do. Okay, first thing I want you to consider. I want you to consider in what ways have you placed confidence or trust in people? In what ways have you misplaced your confidence? You've misplaced your confidence and trust by placing it in people, right? Now you got to make sure we don't go to an unbiblical place here, but I just want you to think about it. In what ways, as a Christian, have you found yourself placing your confidence in men or in people? Right? And what ways have you done it incorrectly? In what ways have you placed it trust or confidence in earthly authority? All right? I think that's very important. So I want you to just ask yourself, in what ways have you done that? Identify how you have done that. And then I want you to consider how would you describe your confidence, your trust in the Lord? Is it theoretical or is it actual? Is it a theoretical trust? I truly trust in the Lord theoretically, like it's a theological concept, but how does it demonstrate, or how does confidence in God manifest itself in your actual daily life? All right? Oh, there's more. I want you to do that. So I want you to identify how you have placed confidence. You've misplaced your confidence and trust in people and in earthly authority. How have you done that? Some people, I think many Christians, they get caught up into political, and they put their trust and confidence in political parties. I think they really do. And they say they don't, but you act like the way you look and listen to how they talk and how they act, it clearly seems that they have. We cannot deny ourselves. And then I want you to just really meditate and think about this week. Is your confidence in God a theoretical confidence, or is it a practical, meaningful one? At least in Genesis 12, we start off when we see Abraham. I mean, that's a very practical confidence. Leave everything and go, and he goes. That's a trust and a confidence in God. Right? That's a trust and confidence in God. Now, he brings all of this stuff with him. Is he wavering? Is he trying to hedge his bets here? What is he doing? You can draw your own conclusion. And then I want you to really write down Proverbs 25:19, and I want you to just think about that. Have you ever experienced placing your confidence in an unfaithful person, and it was basically as useful as a broken tooth or a foot out of joint? I want you to just really think about that, because we've all done it. We've all put our trust and faith. I mean, think about it. Anytime I put my trust or faith in myself, anytime I put my confidence or trust in me, it's about as useless as a broken tooth or a broken foot. It doesn't work out very well. All right, we'll stop right there. Oh, there's more we want to get to. I hope this is okay walking through this, but this is the kind of teaching I like to do with everyone present, because then you have the interaction, everybody looking these up and everybody saying, well, I think this means this. Doing this just in an empty room is always hard, but I wanted us to get us started this week, all right? I wanted us to get started and really start talking and thinking this through, and I want this to be a good week of study, and I want us to really just consider the whole concept of confidence. And again, I'll go back to it right here. And if you hear my stomach growling, I don't know why it is, because I had a good lunch, but my stomach is growling. I want us to consider, again, confidence comes from trusting God. That's the point of the curriculum study this week. And should we not say, I'm going to argue that the point this week should be this. We should place our confidence and trust in God alone. Right? I know I've worded it differently than I had earlier, but God should be you could state it a couple of ways. The point this week is that God should be the object of our confidence and trust. It should be Him. He should be the source of our confidence and trust. In other words, I place my confidence and trust in Him, and because I place it in Him, then He becomes the source of me being confident and having trust. He is where I place my confidence and trust, and then He becomes the source of it. In other words, I place whatever confidence and trust I have in Him. The more I place my confidence and trust in Him, what flows from that is a greater source of confidence and trust because it's in God. So their point is that confidence comes, I guess in some ways you could say confidence comes from trusting in God, but it's trust comes from trusting in God. I put whatever trust I have, I trust in Him, and then more trust comes from it. But God should be, I'm going to state it this way. We should trust and have confidence in God alone. And that by placing our confidence and trust in God alone, our confidence and trust in God grows and it develops. And I think we see that with Abram a little bit, right? He places his confidence in God, but isn't it a growing thing? A developing thing? He places his confidence and trust in God, but he has times of wavering and doubt. I think we can see that, but you can draw your own conclusions. All right, there's so much more that I want to get to, but we're going to have to stop. Yep, we're going to have to stop. All right, there's plenty of us. There's plenty there to work on this week. Plenty to discuss. I definitely would like to get your thoughts. You can work through the curriculum. Let me know if you see anything in the curriculum that is interesting, but just what do you need to do this week? I've already given you some things to think about and to look at. I want you to identify how you've misplaced your confidence and trust in men and in earthly authority. I want you to tell me if you think your confidence is theoretical when it comes into God or if it's practical and actual. And then I want you to think about and meditate on where you have placed confidence and trust in someone who's unfaithful, only to find out that it's about as useless as trying to eat with a broken tooth or trying to run with a broken foot. It becomes useless. And just think about that. Now, the rest of the things you need to do is found in part 1. We've already looked up the English word for confidence, so I've done that for you. We've started looking up how confidence is used in the Bible. We need to finish that. You do need to add looking up trust, because I think that they're too much related. They're synonymous in my mind. And then we need to get a good idea what the Bible actually tells us about confidence and trust. And then we need to figure out how that all relates to Genesis chapter 12. So there you have it. All right, I'll stop right there. You can email me, newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. That's newsif@yahoo.com. All right, I'll stop right there. Everyone have a great week. God bless.